get used to the shaking. I wake up in the dark, imagining everything I am breaking as I lose my grip. I've been dreaming in color. I wake up wishing harder for you. Full lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Don't hold your breath for me. Full lines breaking under my feet. Oh, alright, I'll get used to this eventually. Someday you'll see. Full lines, full lines, full lines, full lines.
You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production.
Mix
With the commish, Nate.
Hey now, welcome to Grown Folks Live, the second day in a row, I think. I think we just had one yesterday as we were talking about all kinds of gaming news from NCAA to PUBG to Off the Grid to a new boxing game called Undisputed. Tons of fun stuff that Pootie T and I covered today. But I am here today with my dude, the commissioner of the Deuce, Mr. Maniac. How you doing today, bud?
I'm doing great, man. Excited about all this new stuff coming down the pipe. So we got some stuff to talk about. That's for sure.
Yeah. Happy Madden Reveal Day. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Dan, you got to come check out Grown Folks, man. You've been in chat for quite some time. I appreciate you. Maniac, we finally got, after pushed back for 24 hours, some kind of news around Madden 25. No reveal trailer yet, which is a little disappointing, but we do have some brand new news that we can talk about. And so let me pull this up and let's start to dive into it. Tons of stuff out there on their blog. So it's a very long, it's ea.com/game/Madden 25/ I don't know. We're just going to keep adding to the end of this HTTP. It's just like, come on. Anyway, just search ea.com. You're going to see Madden 25. It is a different blog than Madden 24, but their Gridiron Notes is back. There's tons of places that you can go find news about Madden 25. We are really just going to focus today on CFM news and anything that affects it. So presentation, gameplay. There's not a ton here today, but I am ready to dive into it with my buddy, Mr. Maniac. So we got it on the screen for you. I'm going to see if I can get this to where I can read it because my old eyes needs bifocals already. Let's dive into it. I'm not going to read to you. There's plenty of people that will read to you in our community. That is not going to be me. But there's a few little things about gameplay where they just give us some general information. I want to talk about the first one. It's on the list. You can see it. Maniac. These are your people. Right? You were an EA game changer back in the day. I know you're not anymore, but these are your folks. Boom Tech is the name that we have come up with for the new Field Sense running / tackling animation system. It's not a good name, EA. Be better. You can do better than Boom Tech. I hope that someone, what's up, Bird, comes up with a better name than this. But they are saying that we're going to get a new physics-based tackling system. You read this. What excites you? What worries you? I know a lot of people. I shouldn't say a lot of people. I have watched a few of the top streamers out there talk about Madden 24 and how gameplay wasn't that bad. And I just want to pull my hair out. I'm like, it was some of the worst gameplay I've ever played. Maybe it's just that bad because of the way that we play Madden, which we will look at. Do we need to change our style of how we play Madden to keep things fair? But man, I just felt blocking sucked. I felt running sucked. I felt like, as always, tackling angles sucked. Animations sucked. Quarterback arc throwing sucked, timing sucked. I just felt like it was one of the worst Maddens that we've had in quite some time. And this is a guy that's always saying, it's not as bad as you guys all say. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I want to stay positive. It's Madden 25. Anything about the physics-based tackling that excites you, worries you? What do you think about what they're saying?
Well, just to kind of talk about the name Boom Tech.
It's bad. No?
When you see it, like the very first thing you think about, like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be nothing but just like hit sticks, you know. I don't know. It just screams like there's just gonna be like major collisions on the field, and I guess in some instances that can be good, but we've also seen like in the past Maddens where hit stick was like so OP that it just absolutely kind of destroyed any running back in their path or anyone that had the ball. I am excited about the point that they're actually trying to correct the physics-based tackling system that they've had in the past. It looks like they're trying to really get a more realistic feel to the controls. As you can see in their blog that they wrote, that they're tracking new data-driven physics. We all know that nowadays everything is data-driven. The NFL, you know, when they prepare for stuff, it's all data-driven. When they prepare their playbooks and different things. So, you know, to see that they're doing some of that stuff. One thing that we've always talked about is make, I know I hear you say this a lot, make it make sense. You know, like you have a big 330-pound defensive tackle, and you know you've got a little scrawny running back that
and stiff arms him right in the mouth. It's just like, what?
Yeah. So you know, stuff like that has always been the issue, or one of the issues with physics-based stuff that they've tried to implement into the game. So now they're saying that the weight's gonna matter, the speed and the strength and all this stuff's gonna matter.
Maniac, real quick, am I not making this up in my head that they've been saying that for ever since Field Sense came out in Madden 23? They talk about that. They've been saying that the reason Field Sense was created was to use data and physics in determining things. It's like we're 2-3 years down the street and you're still trying to like hang your hat on. Oh, we got it this time. Oh, we got it. Am I making that up? It feels like they've been saying this for quite some time.
And they have been. I mean, it's been one of the big points of the whole community has been wanting a physics-based tackling system for a long time. They've tried to implement it. There's been some promise. I mean, I'm not going to be like all like on the bad side of it. There has been some promise. There has been some things that you could see that have benefited from some of the new stuff that they've brought in. But if they want this to be a winner, what they're saying on the physics-based stuff has to be done properly. If not, Boom Tech is going to be Doom Tech. I mean, that's all I can say. So
it's not a good name. I got to stand by it. It's just not. It's not a good name. It's also a very. What's up, Bronco Man? What's up, Daniel? What's up, Bird? Bird says Maniac's halfback Bijan goes boom every time he runs into my defense. Bird's running backs can't go boom because they're juking out of their mother's womb, and I rhymed and didn't even mean it. My issue is they've been saying physics are going to matter, and we're not seeing it. So hopefully it does begin to matter. What I do like is they're not making this game for all the platforms. What we are going to have for Madden 25 on PS5 is finally going to be made and created to use that tech, which sort of really drives me nuts. We're 4 years into, maybe longer than that, into PS5, and you all are just now starting to try to take advantage of this tech that we all paid for. It's just, it's sort of weird to me. But they said reload it, hit stick. I have hated the hit stick since it's been implemented into the game, which is hard to believe. It has been 20 years. So literally the year after we started as a league, they implemented the hit stick. And I'm just very interested to see what this new level of it is, this new iteration of what the hit stick's going to be. Listening to a couple of the guys that actually got hands on, there's like a combination of things that you can do, and it's not going to work every single time, which I will really, really enjoy. And when it does, but what I'm wondering is when it does work, when you hit the perfect hit stick, which for our MLB players, they'll know exactly what we're talking about. When you hit that perfect, does that equal automatic fumble? Like, or is it no, it's like perfect is a higher chance of a fumble or a dislocation. It doesn't mean all the time. That wasn't quite answered for me, because sooner or later, people are going to get the timing down.
Yeah.
They just always will. And that's my issue with, like, they'll get the timing down. These young cats with their young thumbs and their young brains and their young eyes, they're going to get it figured out. So, like, if it is a 1-for-1, if you get it figured out and you get the timing, it automatically equals a fumble, I'm going to hate it. If not, then I like what I'm hearing, like Good Game Bro, Eric out there, like, you guys know where to find all the really big information, is that you're supposed to use some of these conservative tackles or some of these other tackling animations. And so I'm interested to sort of get my hands on it. They say there is a learning curve behind it, but like, how steep is that learning curve and what does that mean when I figure it out? That's going to be a really big thing for me. And I don't know if it's going to, we'll get into it here, especially as we dig into, I'm looking really fast if it's going to talk about it. Live game mode, superstar, ultimate team. Nope. Okay. So what I understand is this, you can tell me exactly what the name is, because I've already forgot, but they're like defensive switch stick that they've implemented for Madden, for NCAA. It has made its way to Madden. We need to decide if we're going to allow that or not allow that. Again, we play very specifically here in the OMFL, but it goes back to, like, how is that implemented? How does that affect, are guys able to, like, quickly change position and hit stick if they get the timing right and all that fun stuff. So reload it, hit stick is out there as well.
Yeah, and maybe that, like I said, because when you hear the name Boom Tech, again, my mind just goes straight to the hit sticks, because that back in I don't know, it was like Madden 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there, like almost every big hit was a fumble. It was just like, it was so crazy. And it might have been a little bit later than that, but I'm trying to reach back whenever it was, and I was all kind of real nonchalantly saying Dwayne, because Dwayne was the master of the hit stick.
Yeah.
And then he would clobber you and cause a fumble.
What was our Jags guy? Oh man, he's the reason we made the rule. I don't know why I'm drawing a total. Brady too, right? Just Brady, like, yeah. It felt like every time, as good as Bird is at juking himself to the bathroom, they were as good at hit sticking everything that moved.
Oh man, it was. You had to, you almost had to, like, give up pretty much every time you got to anywhere near close to one of their guys. You're either, like, trying to dive down, or you're holding the right bumper or R1 to hold two hands on the ball and fall and pray that they didn't get the animation before you fell to the ground, pretty much, when you ran the ball, because if not, man, it was going to be on the ground. So but it sounds like they've at least from what I'm reading there, it's like a harder hitting controlled, determined by the angles and different things. So but hopefully they do it right to where, say for instance, if you got trying to think, well, I'll just use this for instance. If you got a Ray Lewis facing a CMC, and they both hit together, both of them are like what would be considered top players at their positions. It'll then kind of stalemate itself. But if you have a Ray Lewis hitting a 67 overall guy that has like 60 something carry, he should cause a fumble a lot more times. Just I mean, that's the type of stuff that you want to see. You don't want to see just because they initiated the animation of the hit stick at the perfect time to hit, and no matter who you got, what's going on the field, it's going to automatically come out the outcome. It's going to be a fumble. That's the things that have plagued them in the past when they've implemented stuff like this. And tongue in cheek, hopefully, fingers crossed, that they have actually done this proper and made it good, where it is impactful, but also not just 100% a given every time it's performed on the field.
I'm going to put the next two together. It's ball carrier, so there's going to be new animation styles. Like, so your runner will look different if he has a different style. I'm really intrigued by how does that roll into draft classes. Do we see a mixture of styles? Have they created some maybe custom styles? I doubt it, but really interested to see how that plays out because we play 5-6 seasons. How does that play out over the time of our franchise in that Madden cycle? And the foundational football, which is really, really general. They talk about a new iteration of field sense, which this is what they say. You can read it: innovative passing, catching, blocking, and coverages, along with advanced ball carrier mechanisms. What does that mean? We've heard that the new passing mechanism from NCAA will not be in Madden. So what does a renewed passing look like? I've heard that the new crazy catch animations are really powerful. Again, currently we don't allow that stuff, but it will be something that we look at and talk about. We try to force guys to build up players and earn those animations, not just because you have a 67-year overall, 97 speed guy and you can press the crazy catch button, whatever it's called, aggressive catch, and you get an aggressive catch. Like, we're trying to get away from that. My one caution concern is one of my biggest sort of gripes against Madden is it feels like we're playing, Street Fighter with a football game. And it's like, well, if you're really good at button smashing, quickness, and combinations, then you're going to be really good at football. And it's like, well, that's not a 1-for-1. And I understand this game is built for the younger generation that is doing these crazy moves. And so they're giving us those mechanisms. But for this old dude, I have no interest in learning up, down, left, right, circle to the left, L1, stiff arm your wife, kick your dog, and then you're going to perform this amazing move that makes all the... like, Maniac, when I'm giving Bird a hard time right here... Juking out to Chick-fil-A, he said, well, take us with you, Bird. Put it on your phone.
Right? Yeah.
When Bird hits the juke and my user control guy folds like someone just sniper shot them like they were JFK, it's like that had nothing to do with abilities or attributes. It's just like you decided that guy hit a button quicker than my guy, and because of that, my dude just folds like someone just killed him. It's just like that kind of stuff just drives me nuts. And it feels like they call this foundational football, but it feels like it's further away from foundational football and just more gimmicks that they give us. I'm really interested to see how the new gimmicks mix with these new physics. I just have a feeling like I'm getting too old and grumpy for these games.
Yeah, you saying that we hope it's not a football flop for Madden, because I understand what you're saying with your user control guy, and it feels like almost sometimes you lose complete control of your, especially more on the defensive side. Like, you lose complete control of your guy whenever the animation kind of like kicks in, and it's either he's just kind of like he gets frozen in time,
yep,
or he's flopping or diving at air. And the one that I love is like, you see, I know guys in the OMFL are held to a higher standard, but if you ever play like anybody like, well, we I think we are, but if you ever play like drop-in games or whatever every once in a while, sometimes I'll do it if I'm just completely bored and got nobody that I haven't played in a while. I'll just drop in and just say, hey, I'm gonna get a little practice with my hand-eye coordination or whatever. But anyway, you'll see guys and they'll take off and they'll be like running, they'll be juking like left and right, all over spin, and your guys are going crazy. And then when they get open down the field, they're just doing this little wiggle, and you see your defensive guys just like they're doing the snake all the way down the field with them. Like, why can't they? That's been an issue that's been an issue for Madden for a long time. Like, why can't they make it to where the guys just go attack the runner instead of just like they're following in suit? And
I've also yet to see a dive tackle ever work, like from behind, like to dive. It's like they never trip up, they never hit the ankle, like real life, right? Like you'll see players diving, like barely get the ankle or barely get the heel of the foot, trip up the run. It never happens in Madden. You can dive all you want, it's not going to touch them.
Yeah, for one, on the dive tackle is they have the dive animation completely off because you'll see the guy dive, but he jumps like almost like 5 feet in the air, and he loses all his momentum. Where you see like a guy in real life, they'll dive, but it'll be like straight for the ankle or something, and then rip at the ankle. So they definitely need to revamp the animation on that. But talking about they're saying fundamental, foundational football. I mean, that's if they're able to do it. We're going to be in a better place. But EA has a track record of not being able to implement things properly, or something happens, and I know it's a game, it's coded, and guys, there's a lot of guys out there that are always looking for how to break the game. It amazes me. It amazes me how many guys are looking for the little loopholes in the gameplay. Like, well, if I do this, a certain amount of times, it's going to make this happen. It's crazy, but if they can do it like the way they're saying it, I mean, it gives you a little bit of excitement, a little bit of hope for what could be. But then it's like we've been down this road, 10 times, and so we've already seen what's happened. And so now it's like, okay, well, we got to wait to see this if it really is or not going to be something that's really going to change the game.
We'll combine a couple of different things here. Franchise overview, which is really generic, in the presentation overview. And I have one guiding big time question that I have yet to hear answered from anyone who got hands on, or maybe I have just missed it. I will quickly touch on Team Builder. Awesome. I will probably never use it, but I think it's never a bad thing to create something that creates more engagement and gives more playability to a game. So I think you could do some cool leagues. If we ever had leaders that wanted to do, we used to have an OMFL custom and do custom teams. It could be a ton of fun. But with the franchise overview, we're going to get more announced teams. And so you're getting 3 announced teams. Let me get my guiding principle first. Here's the guiding question. How many of these are for online franchises and how many of these are for offline franchises? Because we've seen the presentation for those two are completely different. The presentation for the offline is much more engaging, many more cutscenes and graphics, a little too much. It's a little annoying. Online, it's bare bones. And so I have not heard that, and maybe you have, but I have not heard how many of these are just franchise in general and not necessarily online CFM. These may just be for offline CFM. We will have connected crossplay, which is going to be awesome. They talked about 3 announced teams. Is that going to be an online? Some of me says, nope, not going to be. New draft night, where we're going to see the players walking out, green rooms, new prospect board and searchability, like how you can kind of sort the draft boards, like real-time grades. This all sounds awesome, but is that for online? Some of me is be like, they're going to implement all these things, but they're not going to give it to online. It's just going to be for offline CFM, and online is not going to be changed. I don't know, and I have not heard that. I hope this is online. Give us this stuff online. They talk about managing personalities through storylines and team meeting rooms, coach office, press conferences, and sidelines. We've seen those cutscenes in the current online CFM, and they really are lack. They're boring. They're click throughs. They're so bad that most people don't even hit the scenarios because they're so bad. They're like -5 on something or positive. Like it's just it's too impactful. Like create engagement without these massive. All of a sudden, because I clicked the wrong button or I got the wrong scenario, I played someone this year whose team had only won 2 games. And so the scenario automatically gave me -5 on like 3 defensive attributes because they considered it a trap game. So it doesn't matter my coaching, doesn't matter my prep, doesn't matter my team building. My players are automatically going to be dumbed down because the game decided it's a trap game. That's stupid. Don't do that. Like, it just drives me nuts. Or my favorite one of like, it's a bye week, and so I can get the +5 on stuff, but I'm going to have -5 stamina, so all my guys are going to be wore out. But if I give them time off to recoup, they get +10 stamina, but they get -5 awareness, so no one plays well. It's just like, come on, you're impacting like plus and -5s and 10s. Like, this is too much. It's too much of an impact. Simplified league creation tools, like it. What does that mean? Have no clue. Core depth improvement.
We took away stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. We're all gonna find out. There's female models. Somebody is gonna use that. A new fresh Super Bowl celebration experience. Let's see what that means. Tuning progression. I do like that. I like the. Yeah, I've only seen it twice. I do, and only one was for me, and it was on Justin TV. So nobody, I don't even have proof that I won an OMFL Bowl here. But tuning progression, I do like all of what we had last Madden. Give us that. Give us more tools. And then the new presentation, 500 new sounds, some new animations, especially new blocking animations, some new pregame stuff. I even, heard that like from the time you hit the start menu, I'm like, who cares about the start menu? What are we talking about here? But all new stuff. That I think is the kind of biggest things that I wanted to cover for CFM. Any of this excite you, worry you? If you heard anything else that you're like, yo, that sounds cool.
Well, I mean, when you were talking about the franchise provides a simplified league creation, I'm like, is that the nice way of saying like we took away some of your things that you can add to your league or take away? That's always a thought in your mind because again, we're not. This is not just trying to be Bash Madden podcast here, but we've seen in the past where they say, well. We had to take this away. We had to take that away because it was doing this and that and that. So they've taken away control. Then they've given back control. But is this like one of their unique ways of trying to reword it to where it's like, we don't want to get guys completely in an uproar yet. But in a franchise, when you run a franchise, obviously you want them as being a commissioner. Someone that's running a community, whatever. You want the most amount of controls that you can have, so you can kind of build it to your style. And if they take that away, then that's going to be absolutely a bummer. If they have taken some of the stuff away, hopefully they've added more. If they simplified it, I don't know how they've done it, but. That's just kind of like one little check and that I'm kind of worried about there. And talking about the progression, some of that stuff like that, I'm with you on some scenarios, man. Some of those scenarios are so dumb. It just like
it's like we need to do something. But let's spend one 30-minute meeting to figure out what we're going to do. Like, it's like it's like, don't give us a half-done thing. Like, either put the time to give us something really good or just don't give it to us. And that's what I feel like when it came to the draft, to the scenarios, to draft prospect storylines, to the news section. it's all lifeless. It's all half baked ideas, and it's just like you couldn't come up with anything better than that. That's really disappointing. That's what we came up with. So it sort of is what it is. It's supposed to be better, and now we just got to get the game in hand. I thought this was a really a bold decision to have nothing, no trailer, nothing. Like there's nothing that came with this. Like this is a blog post is the first way, and sort of releasing some of the information out through the creators who got to touch the game, and they weren't even fully sure what they could or couldn't say. So it's just like, I don't know. That's an interesting take, and I think for me, Maniac, it sort of it's like the game. It just lacks. It lacks excitement. It lacks build up, and it just sort of is a wet fart in church. And yeah, sure, your blog is long with a couple photos, but it's just blah. And if your reveal information is blah, it just doesn't build up a lot of excitement. And I already lowered the bar because I was like, NCAA's coming back, so they lost some of their team. They probably lost some of their resources. So don't expect a lot. And if they blow you away, they blow you away. And this is even lower than what I expected. And I agree with you. I don't want to be negative Nancy here. And there's so many other streamers and people that you can go out there and watch when it comes to Madden news that are negative Nancy. But like this just lacks. It lacks foresight. It lacks excitement. And I felt like EA had an opportunity with the excitement from NCAA to hit 2 home runs. And they hit a home run with their NCAA launch, right? That video, 2 minutes or whatever, it's probably been watched millions of times. And this sort of just feels like a burp, a fart, we have indigestion over here on Madden.
I think when they released the college reveal with the video and stuff, if I remember right, when I was watching it live, I think there was like 160-something thousand people watching it live.
Crazy.
It was massive.
And if you added up all of the streams, all of the videos out there, I mean, we're talking maybe in the billions of views, right? If you combined all of the NCAA reveal launch videos that were created out there, we've got to be in the billions. I mean, look, you started out in NCAA as a game changer. At least that's what I remember them being called. Moved over to Madden when NCAA went away. You haven't done that in quite some time, but you have more knowledge than anyone else in this community about what that sort of was like. Maybe can't speak to what it is now, but do you feel more excited after this launch blog? I'm lacking finding the excitement. Like it sounds good, but like there's not, a blog's just not going to create excitement. It's just not.
No, it's not. And I don't feel excited. This is probably like one of the very first times in a long time. And even though Madden has put out some real bad stinkers of a game in the past, you know, you always got excited. You had a little bit of hope especially when you seen like the gameplay trailer come out with the initial announcement of like, you know, Madden's coming out. There was always that renewed hope. And okay, they fixed it. You know, they fixed something. This looks really good. I love how this looks. Maybe I don't like how that looked, but you know, I still love how this looks. So this has got me pumped for this. And again, with the blog, you're like, you know, reading through it, like, and all you can think of is what could be wrong with it. Again, like I just said, the franchise central controls or whatever, you know, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. It's like, what did they take it away? Did they take something away? What are they doing here? You know, it causes more questions than it does any like, you know, like hype. And so I just think, like, I'm with you. I don't think the blog was the way to go. If anything, they should have maybe release a couple of screenshots, just kind of like, okay, this is coming. We're coming with a gameplay trailer in the next few days, so stay tuned, and we'll have that along with the game blog. I don't know. I know, like when I was the EA Game Changer, they would fly us down to EA Tiburon Studios there in Orlando, Florida. We would go in. We would sit down. Usually, the first day we'd sit down with the actual developers and all the folks that were working on the game. We'd sit down with them. They would give us kind of like their overview presentation of what they're doing. They would ask us questions about, okay, what excites you about this? And we would like right there. It's like say like, well, for instance, hit stick. They would say, well, what do you think about hit stick? Well, guys would go through and say, well, I'm concerned about, is this going to be OP? Or last year's game, I couldn't perform a hit stick because it seemed like every time I did it, you'd flick it up and he would go left or he'd go right. He would never make contact. So they would go through those scenarios and whatever. They would take the feedback, and I'm sure they still do something similar to that, but. Then when they came out with a blog, as a game changer, you knew what was kind of coming up because you'd already had contact with them, and so you were kind of excited. And not only that, whenever we were there, they would take feedback from us. We would play the game one day, they would take feedback. They would go and try to adjust things, and we'd get a new build of the game the next day.
Mm-hmm.
We'd play that one. We'd give them feedback on that, and you could see it like progressively get better or get worse, and so you could like have communication with them and stuff. But like I said, whenever you're in that situation, then when you come home 2 months later, you're getting ready to hear what they're going to release, and see what's progressed. And you always had like, okay, they listened, they gave us, they fixed that, they fixed this. And so you got excited for it. There was some momentum going into like, okay, Madden's coming out next month. Madden's going to be out in 6 weeks or whatever. But this right here, I don't see any kind of excitement besides just the Madden fanboys. Just like saying, okay, well, we're fixing to get another game. That's what it reads to me. We're getting another game, yay. But nothing to like, oh yeah, this is like so awesome. They're putting in this new tech, and I just seen how it played, and it's absolutely amazing. And we could get a gameplay video in 2 or 3 weeks and be like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. But I just think that if you're going to announce it, the big reveal should be something along the lines of like what they did with the college football game.
Yeah. Here's what I can't get either. I meant to bring this up, but I wanted to check it, make sure. Closed beta started today. Like, I know I'm not a smart man, Maniac. But if you're going to let people play the game, why would you not have a launch video to show the game? Like, why? I can download the beta and go see it, but not everybody got access to this. So it's today and through Tuesday, and then the following 2 Fridays from then, the 28th through the 2nd. So people literally can go play the beta if you got invited, but you can't watch a video of what it looks like. Huh? I'm not a smart dude, but that feels like that doesn't make a lot of sense here when you could have just released a video because people can go play the game, to go with the blog, to go with the creator videos that all got to play the game, and there should be massive excitement on a Friday to go download the beta and jump in and play what you've seen, or get excited about pre-ordering over the weekend, and instead you just gave us a blog post and some people got invited to the closed beta. I don't know. It just feels like a miss. That's all. It just feels like a miss.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Madden's had so many misses, and I think that there has been some rumors I read somewhere on the internet to where eventually the NFL, I think, is going to make them take away the Madden name. Maybe I was just dreaming about it. But
I haven't heard that.
I had read something somewhere that stated that. So I mean, I don't know if it's because there's been such a fall off from the game, so much negativity from Madden in the last few iterations that they've had, or what. But I do remember reading something about that, and which would be crazy, but because you know, we all know Madden's legacy and whatnot and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, is this something tied to the lack of product that they've put out, a good product for that namesake? And but man, it's just, I don't know. Like you said, it should be like Friday. Everybody should be like humming and jumping and ready.
That should be all the talk right now on Twitter, on like it should just be Madden. And I think what sometimes I would assume this. I've never been a creator. I've never been a part of that. Never had conversations with anybody that means anything there. It's just a guy that's been around for 20 years playing this game and running a league. That like it feels like sometimes that negativity or not super positive feedback, if you looked at it that way, drowns out the fact that we want to be positive. We want to be excited. We want to see them hit the home run, because they did for NCAA. There was so much excitement and build up for that. And that launch just like has propelled. There's so much behind it, right? I've even heard rumors that it is driving stocks up for GameStop. Like one video game and the launch of that has done that. And I feel like Madden just fell below that. And maybe they were going to fall below it no matter what, because there was 10 years of hype for NCAA. It's been gone for that long. And so there's just that excitement and there was a passionate fan base, but it feels like they could have done more, especially since you did open the closed beta today. So if the closed beta is open, which I'm going to go download it and probably play for a few minutes, if it's ready to rock and roll, why would you not put out a video showing something? Like, I don't know. It just feels like you gave us whatever it was, 4 screenshots. I think I've already closed it, but like 4 screenshots. That's all you gave us, and that feels like a miss. So, well, did you get invited?
No, not as of yet.
Well, that's disappointing. Yet. Well, for those in the MFL, if you got invited, let me know. I'll put up a test CFM if that's possible, or like to just play some games. And so, anybody out there that may or may not watch this, give my guy Maniac a code. There's no reason he shouldn't have a code. That's ridiculous. So let me know when you do get your code, guys in the MFL. Let me know if you have a code. Let's go play some games. We only got our hands on it for a couple of days, and then it goes away for a week, and then it comes back, and then by then we'll be ready for NCAA. So a lot of fun things happening here. Maniac, thanks for making time on a random Friday afternoon to do a quick
Absolutely.
Madden news stream. I appreciate you. We went for almost 45 minutes here, so I think it's a good wrap up. So it looks like D-Money said franchise is locked currently, so no test for any. Thank you, D-Money, for that. I will make sure to keep an eye out for when they do unlock it. So I think last Madden they sort of unlocked it over days, like they would unlock a new thing over the next few days. So hopefully they unlock it and we could get something up and test it and play with it, because it does. Franchise games play different than the online just head-to-head games. D-Money, I have no interest in playing you, so don't hit me up for a game. But anybody else, I'd play some games. Maniac, I appreciate you, brother. Guys out there, remember, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Super tune in. Keep tuning in. I can't breathe right now, so it's affecting the oxygen to my brain. Allergies are just going to kill me. D-Money, no. Why would I do that? Why would I sign up to have you make me hate a game that isn't even dropping yet? No. Go beat up on some random kid and make them cry. I don't want to cry today. Anyway, guys, I love you. Take care of yourselves. Maniac, I appreciate you. Let me know when you guys get that code. And until the next one, take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. And you matter. So come hang out with me. Bye.
Peace.
and subscribe.